Tallowing is a practice here at Jordan Winery that we've done since the very beginning. The oak tanks were installed for our very first vintage, and tallowing refers to sealing the doors of the oak tanks with a wax. At Jordan, since we still utilize our oak tanks for our production, the tallowing of the doors is really an art form that we take great pride in preserving. In the old days, tallowing doors was literally using tallow or animal fat, the same thing that they would use candles for as kind of a cheaper substitute for wax. In modern times, that's impractical and literally unavailable. So we use a compound, a proprietary compound that's mostly paraffin and beeswax. We tallow the doors just to create a liquid tight seal in oak tanks as perfectly as the doors are fitted and uniquely to each tank. They still need some type of material to create an actual wine tight seal. Over time, the shaping techniques for the tallow have evolved. It's very specific. The wax needs to be brought up to body temperature by manipulating it and actually kind of squeezing it to make sure there are absolutely no lumps and it's totally homogeneous. And then we start to form what we call snakes, or long sort of cylinders of the wax. So then we put those onto the door and create the seal. But this making of the snakes is what's really evolved over the past few years. With experience in cooking, I realized that's just like making gnocchis. So we got a cutting board from Todd in the kitchen, and we started using that cutting board. We ended up with a much quicker way of making those snakes and ended up with a much more uniform piece of material to start with. In the winter, actually when we return from our holiday break, we come in and we find the wines have completed their malolactic fermentation and are ready to create our barrel blend. So all the oak tanks are empty at that point, and that's when we actually have to set all 21 doors and get that ready to make our barreling blend. And we like to make a blend in advance of barreling so that the wines can marry and become a little more harmonious before they start their 12-month aging period.